Greetings, Earthlings, Flow Jedis, what's happening? Welcome back to my channel, Flow State Activation. Here I teach you all about the flow state. Today I'm going to speak to you guys about the art of effortless living. We live in a very burnout culture, right? A very results-oriented culture of go-getters rather than go-givers. This is basically a summary of the book that I came across. Greg McKeown's book, Effortless. Okay, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Today's video is going to be a summary of Greg McKeown's book, Effortless, which is a great book, I believe. There's a lot of little nuggets in there. I'm going to share my greatest epiphanies from going through that book, okay? So enjoy. Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today we're talking all about the book Effortless. Now, it's all about the effortless state, which leads to effortless action, which leads to effortless results, okay? So the book is split up into these three chunks, these three main chapters, you could say.
Yeah. I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Living non-effortlessly or with more workaholism or this burnout culture, it's almost like a fisherman who doesn't have the glasses to block out the sun so he can't see the fish. Or if you're lifting weights and you're only using your lower back to lift the weights rather than, you using your entire muscular system to do that. There's an example of this woman in the WNBA in the book where she basically says to trust in the simple process, to simplify. She's been using the same method over and over again to get to where she's at, which is her excellence. She knows she has to put her left foot on the line. She knows she has to have an imaginary dot where the basket is. She has to lift her arms up and she has to flick her wrist just like this, and knowing that is now a part of her muscle memory, which is then a part of her bio memory, right? So once you drill something in a very simple way over and over again, you know the path to least resistance, you know the path to least effort, and then you take action on that. You see, our brains are hardwired to resist hard things and welcome in easy things. We'd rather put our dishes in the sink rather than our dishes in the dishwasher, just because it's one less step. But when I talk about the path of least effort, I'm thinking of it as our survival value, right? It's been hardwired in our brains, so that means that our ability to survive depended on the path of least effort, because you don't see caveman thinking about what are ways that I'm going to make this even more complicated, even more difficult. That's not what made us survive. Overachievement does not mean overdoing. This book introduced something called the inversion method, which I actually, now thinking back when I was in college, Dina Janis, she introduced this concept to me in the class of playwriting. And when I had first heard of it, it kind of took me out of my normative way of thinking about things, because I started to ask myself, what if the opposite were to be true, right? What if the opposite were to be true? So instead of thinking, why is this so difficult? You ask, what if this could be more easy? You see, complexity is a flow state trigger. So is pattern interrupts, so is novelty. Okay, these are the main ones that release dopamine. However, too much of anything, we understand, just like too much overwork and stress leads to a lack of performance. So if we remove the complexity and ask ourselves, what's the simplest way to do this? What's the simplest way to achieve this result? Ask yourself that question. In the book, there's this amazing Venn diagram which shows that the essential, and this is the author of Essentialism as well, the essential and enjoyable overlapping is effortless. Rituals or habits with a soul. You've heard of Marie Kondo, right? Where she says folding your clothing is not just about creating more storage space. It's about appreciating your clothing. It's about thanking your clothing for taking care of you, keeping you warm, expressing yourself through your clothes. So it becomes more of an art form. Rituals, my friends, are not routines. They're habits with the soul, as this book states. So you can make anything mundane into magic just by simply placing your intention on, how can I make this more fun for me? How can I laugh more with this? Now, as a positive psychologist myself, I'm a big proponent of gratitude. I do tell people about gratitude and the power of gratitude. But a lot of people use gratitude as a way to signal virtue, and it's not this authentic thankfulness and appreciation that we truly embody. But this book has a very interesting perspective on gratitude. And this particular action, if you take this particular action, I guarantee you it will make your life a lot more joyful and a lot less effort in pushing. I know a lot of people who need to watch this video, and that's why they clicked on it. I'm not hounding on my clients or whatever, but listen, you can make your life more easier, not more difficult. You gotta work smarter, not harder. You've heard that. But now it's time to apply it. So every time that you feel like complaining, right after complaining, you say something that you're grateful for. Oh man, I shouldn't have had dessert today. But I'm glad that I'm watching my weight and at least aware of the fact that I caught myself after having dessert about measuring my health and weight and putting more attention and importance to it, And that gratitude is slowly going to replace the complaints. It's not going to happen overnight, but you keep maintaining this habit of right after you complain, you become extremely grateful. Try this. It's not easy. It's going to take some time to rewire the actual mindset tweaks. But once it gets there, it's going to make life a lot easier. We have something called sleep debt. If you haven't been sleeping well for days and days, which I know definitely I've had nights where I'm so in the zone, I'm so in the flow state that I just stay up till 1, 2, 3 sometimes. I've accumulated some sleep debt. And what this book recommends, which I'm a huge proponent of, is power naps or effortlessness naps. Noise canceling headphones, alarm for an hour or so, or 30 minutes. I think that's a really great idea. So if you're getting anything from this book, just know that you got to take those power naps, yo. You got to do it. Find some time. An hour is like 4% of your day. You can find the time, okay? The example of Steph Curry is amazing. He calls it neurocognitive efficiency, right? I'm not sure if he calls it that or the scientists who study Steph Curry call it that. But it's interesting, man. To raise his hand-eye coordination, he tries juggling a tennis ball with one hand while dribbling a basketball with the other. Or he's hitting the tennis ball on the wall and trying catching it while dribbling at the same time. So this hand-eye coordination, this attentiveness, gets him to make his reaction time very fast. And these kinds of exercises, you plan out your day to have more reflexive movements or hand-eye coordination movements. And check out a video I made with the tennis ball as well. Great exercise for that. We've also got to start defining what done looks like. If we leave it up to chance, we'll never know when we're finished. Okay, we'll be these perfectionists looking for the next tweak or the next thing or the next refinement when, hey, the project might be complete. Less about overthinking and getting in your head about it. It's more about performing it with ease, with effortlessness, through this process of just you knowing what to do and then going through the motions. Ask yourself, how am I making this harder than this needs to be? You got to live what you teach, but also teach others how to teach. We teach others what we most need to learn ourselves. Partly the reason why I am a flow state coach is because I struggle with anxiety, because I struggle with symptoms of ADHD. I don't know if I have that or the culture made me that, right? Because I've trained my brain to be so frantic and on edge and completely overstimulating my mind rather than giving myself time to rest. And we associate rest with being lazy. We as a culture, we got to change our wording. Blood, sweat, and tears, hard-earned, a hard day's work. Why not just day's work? Why are you adding that word hard to it? Okay? Easy money is associated with illegal means of getting that money. Think about this, right? The culture and the wording and the language is against you. AZD, my mentor, also says this: language is the power of the gods. Your words create your world. And so the words that you're using perpetuates your workaholism and your burnout. Listen, your burnout is not a badge of honor. Okay, I'm not gonna give you a trophy just because you worked extra hours. Did you get the result or not? But the result comes from the effortless state, feeling lighter, not carrying all this baggage, this emotional baggage and memories and traumas in your mind, right? That's why letting go is so important. The 3 things you need to hire somebody: integrity, intelligence, and initiative. Use the 2 minutes of extra effort that you need to get rid of any recurring frustrations, okay, that might be coming up in the future, and you use your foresight to work out like what those things are. So this art of effortless living, this is an autocorrect for the burnout culture. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Give it a thumbs up, share this video with a friend, hit that subscribe button if you're new. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's get it today. May we never be the same again. You already know.